Okay, last week we brought what the Rambam says. The Rambam says these words. Siman Gimel, page Chavav. The Rambam says, "V'chol mi she'eino ma'amin boi." Anyone that doesn't believe in the coming of Mashiach, can't believe, doesn't think Mashiach's ever going to come. Oy mi she'eino mechakel b'yosei. Or even if someone believes eventually one day Mashiach will come, he's going to come one day. But he's not waiting for him to come. You're asking the guy, do you want him to come now, today? He doesn't mind if he comes tomorrow, next week, next year. Do you feel that you want him to come? Do you feel you're missing something? If someone's hungry, they didn't eat. So he feels that he's missing something. And he wants, he's thirsty, he's hungry, he feels like he's not relaxed. He feels he's missing something. Someone's missing something. Is Mashiach, do you feel you're missing something? Do you want him to come? So it's not enough only to believe he's going to come. A guy believes he's for sure going to come, but he doesn't feel that he's missing him. The Rambam says this guy is a kofer b'Torah v'Moshe Rabbeinu. He's denying in Torah and in Moshe Rabbeinu. And it seems to be a very sharp line. The guy believes he's going to come. I saw someone writing a line. So one that believes that Mashiach is going to come is a kofer. So I was like, what? I was wondering, what's this line? The believer is a heretic. Well, what's that meant to mean? If you're only a believer and you're not also a waiter, then you're a heretic. Kofer b'Torah v'Moshe Rabbeinu. He'll decide. Come on. Now the Rebbe explains over here why does the Torah? So we learned about it last week that it needs to be it's a chiyuv tmidi. We learned a couple of diyukim. This week we're going to explain, the Rebbe explains why is there this obligation to wait for Mashiach? Why isn't it enough just to believe Mashiach is eventually going to come? I believe. Why is there this obligation that you have to wait for Mashiach? So we're going to bring two reasons the Rebbe explains. The reason that we need to wait for Mashiach also, and by the way, this is connected to today's yard set, Tzemach Tzedek, the Rebbe brings that he kocht in this inyan of HAKHEL MOSHIACH DVAR MALCHUS, and the Rebbe brings down a story that once at Tzemach Tzedek was talking about Mashiach in a time when it says that he can't come then. It says he can't come. And he was saying that Mashiach should come anyways in that time. So they asked him, how could he say Mashiach is going to come now? It says he can't come. Whether it was Erev Shabbos, or it was, Moitzi Shabbos, or some time. That Tzemach Tzedek said he's going to come anyways. And after he comes, it says that he will answer questions. So he'll give an answer to this question also. How could he come at a time when it says that he can't come? It's actually interesting. The Rebbe brings down in the Agodah Shel Pesach, there's a brisk Agodah Beis HaLevi from brisk. So you think that this is a word from the Tzemach Tzedek only. It's a Chassidish word. But the brisk Erov says the exact same word in the Agodah Shel Pesach. And the Rebbe said he was very happy to see that the brisk Erov should write such a thing. That the chiyuv of HaKhel MOSHIACH to wait for Mashiach. He says two things, two diyukim. The chiyuv is every single day and every single second in the day, you have to wait for Mashiach. And not only you're waiting for Mashiach to come, who knows when, but you're waiting for him to come today. You're waiting every day for him to come today. Many people learn, I wait for him every day. He'll come whenever he's going to come. What's the B'chol Yom going on the Achake? So the Brisker Rebbe says no. B'chol Yom Sheyaveh. You're waiting that he should come in every single day. And the Rebbe said this many times. It's Tavshim Dalid, when the Pnei Menachem, the Gerer Rebbe, came to the Rebbe told him, I saw in the Agodah Beis HaLevi that was just printed, that he says this exact same thing, the way that Tzemach Tzedek learns that the chiyuv of HaKhel B'chol Yom Sheyaveh is every day, every second of the day, for it to come today. Okay, so back to this. Why is there a chiyuv to wait for Bias HaMashiach? A guy can't say, I believe in Mashiach, that's enough. Why is there this obligation to wait? Why do you need to also wait? Why isn't it enough to believe? It says that the first reason is Aleph Amunah Lavad Yocholi is Meifen Makif. Belief on its own, if a guy is just believing in something, it could stay in an abstract concept. the literal meaning of the word makif means something surrounding. Like this room is surrounding us. But if someone eats, the food goes inside him and it becomes a part of him. And he lives off of the food that he eats. That's called pnimi, something that's inside. So a munah on his own could be something that's a makif. It could be somewhere in the heavens, it could be in the clouds, it could be surrounding him. It doesn't affect this person. And the Rebbe says, Ad mitzad munah afshali is ganva pumachtarto rachamona karye. If a guy only has a munah, there's such a concept. It says that a ganav, when he's on the opening of the machtarta, of the machteres, and he's in the opening of the tunnel, before he goes inside, the way they would steal in the olden days, so you have a wall, so they made a tunnel, and the guy would go inside the house, come inside the house from the floor. So right before he goes inside this tunnel, he calls to the Eibishter and he says, Eibishter, help me out. I should succeed. No one should catch me. He should steal a lot of money. So what's going on over here? This guy, if you believe in the Eibishter, so how could you go against the commandment the Eibishter said, like Tikkunoivu? You're standing and you're saying, Hashem, help me go do the opposite of what you're telling me to do. Help me out, succeed in doing an Aveda. The guy right before he does an Aveda, he's praying to Hashem. So you believe in the Eibishter or not? Well, what's the explanation? That Amunah doesn't. What do you have to lose? It doesn't demand from you anything, which means, in other words, it's a makif, it's an abstract thing. The Eibishter could exist. At the same time, you could do the opposite from what the Eibishter wants. And not only do the opposite, you could ask the Eibishter to help him to do the opposite from what the Eibishter said to do. That's how abstract this Amunah on can be. The guy believes in Hashem. He believes the Eibishter exists, and he believes the Eibishter could help him steal. So if you believe Hashem can help you steal, why don't you maybe believe He can help you make parnasa also? Maybe daven Him for parnasa. What are you davening Him to help you steal? If you believe that He can make something happen in this world, so ask Him. This is one of the ways that I believe. What's the problem? This whole Eibishter is some abstract thing. It's a makivdik thing. So to Mashiach. If it's only a munah in Mashiach, if it's only belief in Mashiach, without needing to wait for Mashiach, there's no chiv to be machake, to actually wait. So Mashiach, I believe in Mashiach, is going to come one day. But what does it mean at the end of the day? You actually believe in Mashiach, so what do the Pinchas Hirschbrung, you learned in HAKHEL MOSHIACH, a huge Gordon, who's a Baki B'Shas, literally word for word. So once by Fabreik, and then I was speaking that you have to be machake for Mashiach, and you didn't need to wait for Mashiach, and then it was going on and on. So he came up to the Rebbe and he told the Rebbe, everyone believes in Mashiach. So the Rebbe told him, if I would ask you, can I borrow $1,000 and I'll pay you back when Mashiach comes? You'd give me $1,000? Mashiach is coming now, so give me $1,000. Well, Bitamol, he starts thinking twice, 10 times. So you believe in Mashiach is coming now or not? So as long as it doesn't demand from you anything, so what does it hurt? Yeah, believe in Mashiach. But if you have to wait for Mashiach, that means, in other words, that it's a real thing. Mashiach is actually going to come, and you're waiting for him to come. You're expecting him to come now. You want him to come now. It's a real thing. Till then, Mashiach could be some. So a guy is a maimin b'vias a Mashiach. The Rambam calls him koifer b'toyra v'meisher Rabbeinu if he's not machake. Why? Because Amunah doesn't mean anything. It means, okay, at least he knows of this concept, Mashiach, whatever. But at the end of the day, if a guy's only a machake, he's a koifer b'toyra v'meisher Rabbeinu. Why? Because he doesn't really believe in Mashiach. If this guy would really, really believe in Mashiach, this is what later on, the Rebbe says, if a guy would actually believe in Mashiach and that he's going to come, he would be a machake. There's no such a thing. A guy tells you, I'm going to give you $1 million. Okay, so if it's some schnorrer in the street that doesn't have a cent to his name, so okay, $1 million and you continue walking. But what's if a billionaire, the richest guy in the world, tells you, invites you to his house, and he says, Mister, I'm going to give you $1 million. So you actually believe that this guy could give you $1 million, and you actually start waiting for this guy, like, okay, so what are you doing this? Like, when are you going to give it to me? You take it serious. If a guy is not machake from Mashiach, what does that mean? He doesn't take the whole Mashiach business as a serious thing. So he believes. If he's only believing and not waiting, he's called a koifer. Why? Because at the end of the day, this guy doesn't really believe. If you really believed that Mashiach will come, so how could you not wait for it? How could you? It's such a good thing. Such a good geschmack thing is Bias HaMashiach, and you know it's a real thing and it's actually going to come. How could you not wait for such a thing? How could you not want such a thing to happen now? How could you not have a feeling that you want it to actually happen as soon as possible? If you believe in such a thing is going to take place. So if you don't believe, if you don't wait, it means really such a guy doesn't really believe. He believes boyfriend makif, it's somewhere in the clouds. Says the Rebbe, "V'lachein ma'ad gesha Rambam, she'achai v'liyeh zikama machakel b'yosei, she'machakel hazeh b'pashtus, be'efen she'zeh choder b'pnimiyusei." Therefore, the Rebbe says, the Rambam emphasizes a person must also wait for Mashiach, wait for his coming. He's waiting for it, literally, for real, in a way that this affects him, but Pnimius affects the guy, for real, but it's a Pnimius thing, it has to do with him, it's not some abstract topic, concept, and that's it. So that's one explanation why there's a chiyuv to also to be machaka for Bias HaMashiach. It's not enough to believe. The second answer that Rebbe gives is also a very geschmacka answer. And the Rebbe says like this. The Rebbe asks like a question. A guy could say, the Eibishter says he's going to bring Mashiach. It says in the Torah Mashiach is going to come. Okay, so what is it my business? The Mashiach is going to come one day. And the Rebbe's question is, a guy waited a whole day for Mashiach to come. Let's say 500 years ago, in the times of the Baal Shem Tov. A guy was waiting a whole day for Mashiach to come. And Mashiach didn't come. This guy is full of pain. This guy has his heartaches. Why didn't he come? He feels all the Lashon of the Rebbe is, he has a pee of a... Let me just shut it off. Sorry. The alarm clock that Mashiach is coming. Okay. A guy that's... Just 1 second, a guy, the Rebbe's Lashon is Tsar, Regesh al Tsar. A guy... So this guy, 500, he waited a whole day for Mashiach to come, and he didn't end up coming in the end of the day. So what are you left with, l'cha'oira? The guy's just full of pain, and Mashiach didn't come. So why are you machayiv this guy to wait for Mashiach? What's the point? You made a guy wait for Mashiach a whole day, and the guy was full of pain, and he was waiting, and the day passed, and he didn't come. And the next day he waits again, and he didn't come. And you can have a guy waiting 70, 80 years every single day for Mashiach to come, and he didn't come. So why is this guy mechuyev to be machaka lebiyosei? And if he's not a machaka, he's a koiver b'teir v'meishan rabbeinu. Mashiach's going to come. David is going to bring Mashiach. Why is there obligation that a yid should wait for Mashiach? And if he doesn't come, this guy ends up being full of pain. So in other words, it could be like the Torah was machayiv a yid to have tzar. For 1900 years, Yidden were waiting for Mashiach. Okay, the Doid of the Alter Rebbe, let's say just the past 7 days. And from the Churban of they were waiting for Mashiach. So what happened with all, so you can have people that were waiting and Matzapa and waiting for Mashiach, and that Mashiach didn't end up coming. So what did we gain out of it? People were just a whole bunch of people full of pain. So why is Torah Machayiv yet to wait? Yeah, understand? So the Rebbe gives us a gavaldik answer. The Rebbe says, if the Torah wouldn't be machayiv a yit to wait, what would happen at the end of the day? When this guy has the tzar for Mashiach and he wants him to come and he didn't come, this makes him automatically daven even stronger for Mashiach to come. He's going to add in more Torah and mitzvahs to make Mashiach come faster. And because of this, the Gula is going to come much, much faster. If you didn't need to wait for the example like we said before with this millionaire that he says he's going to give the guy the... So let's say a guy says he's going to give the $1 million when you know that he's going to give the $1 million, and let's say he tells you, I'm going to give it to you, and the guy's waiting a whole day and he's in pain that he didn't give him the $1 million yet. So what does this guy do with in pain? He just sits and he goes to sleep, or the guy goes to him and says, hello, you said you're going to give me something. He sends him a letter, he knocks on his door. And then the guy actually gives it to him instead of giving it to him when he's 90. He says he's going to give it to you. He can give it to you when you're by his 120th birthday. You'll give it to him and tell him have a good day. Right? That's the joke. When he tells someone on what's the bracha for the 120, have a good day. Because so you can give it. You can give it to him then at his 120th day. Why? But because he knows that he wants such a good thing, the guy is going to do the tzad itself. If a guy isn't paid for something, he's not going to sit quiet. He's going to do things to get what he wants. If the guy doesn't know about it and he doesn't care about it, so why should he give you what you want? Why should he give it to you earlier? He'll give it to you in the end of the day. He'll give it to you who knows when. But if you're demanding it, the guy's making him crazy, so he'll give it earlier, right? You have two kids. This kid gets it earlier, he gets it later. Why? Because he was making noise and screaming and asking for it. So you got it earlier. You were chropping and you weren't asking for the case. So we'll wait around. The Rebbe says that tzad itself makes you to daven more, do more things, and makes Mashiach come faster. It's like we said before. What happened when these 1900 years of Yidden waiting for Mashiach? If the Yidden wouldn't wait for Mashiach, Lu Yitzuyir, it could be that the Gula would come even later, even further down. Through them waiting and through them being betzar that they wanted him to come, this caused for Yidden to scream out the Masai many more times. This caused Yidden to daven even stronger for Mashiach to come. See, we're saying about screaming at Masai, and who looks and walks in.
Bring it tonight.
We're speaking about screaming at Masai, about Mashiach. This is a Fabrengen also.
You're gonna extend it in. We're gonna bring it tonight.
Okay. For the Tzemach Tzedek's Yartzeit in the Beis Yosef. Okay, but like I was saying over here, the Rebbe says, what happens in the end of the day with all of this, with all of the waiting? This made Mashiach come faster. This is making Mashiach come faster. Let's read it in the Rebbe's words. Beis v'shlohoisiv b'tam achiv lei rak lahamin b'y elegam lachakis lebiyosei. We could add in the reason that it's the obligation not only to believe that he's going to come, but also to wait for his coming. Af Shetzipiya v'garguim l'do v'ranichsov. Even though when a guy is looking out for and waiting and longing and thirsty and he wants something l'do v'ranichsov for a wanted thing, the guy's waiting and he's so thirsty for something to happen and it's not happening. This makes a guy have a feeling of pain. So why is there this obligation to wait for Mashiach, even though l'cha'oira it could cause a yid a regesh of tzar? Says the Rebbe, today she is spal yoser for yavakish al biyosek. Through this machakal biyosek, this makes him have this. He feels he waited and he didn't come. He was waiting and it didn't happen, and it's not, and he feels like it's not happening. So this causes him pain. This pain makes him daven even more. For Yavaka, he shall be yosek. It's going to make him ask for him to come. And through this, he will actually make his coming faster. Mamish. So why is there, like we're saying, the question is, why is there a chiyuv to wait for Mashiach if l'cha'oira? When you're waiting for something and the thing doesn't come, it says it says in Gemara Brachos that there's a kilyon in layim is and tzipio memushachas is machla slave. When someone is waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for something to happen and it's not happening, it makes a guy have a heartache. Right? So the Rebbe asks, why is there a chiyuv to wait for Mashiach? You're being machav yidden to have heartaches. So the Rebbe says, if someone has a heartache, what is he going to do? He's have a heartache, Mashiach didn't come. This guy's going to daven even stronger for Mashiach to come. He's going to do something to make him come, and he's actually going to make him come a Poel Mamish. I was thinking, whatever, by if I bring in, you're all of listen. I was thinking, not to offend anybody, but I was like, what's the hashkofa you see in the Lubavitcher world and in other kehillis? That in Lubavitch they talk so much about Mashiach, and you can see like people like, I don't know if depressed is the right word, but they're like all upset that Mashiach is not here. It's like a certain feeling that they feel sad, and maybe in other places they don't have this problem because they don't even think about Mashiach to begin with in such a way. Alabavitcher, the Rebbe said he's going to come. No one spoke such a language. Mashiach is going to come today, right now, before I make the bracha acharona, before, it's so strong. You did have G'dai Yisrael, and Moshe Feinstein did speak in such a language. But in the general world, you don't find too many people waiting for Mashiach, like Mom is going crazy for Mashiach to come today, like a literal thing. But because over here we have it, this whole pain that he didn't come yet, it makes us daven even more, it makes us do things even more. If you feel that you're missing something, it makes you want to do something to make it happen. If a guy, like the Rebbe says, when someone knows that he's sick, at least he knows he needs to. Someone doesn't even know that he's sick, so the guy stays sick and he doesn't even heal himself. If you know you're missing something, you're gonna do something to fill up what's missing. Other places you don't talk about it so much, so okay, but they're also not doing the things. They're not doing extra things to fill up this, to make him actually come. So this is what the Rebbe is saying over here. Why is it a chiv to wait for Mashiach, even though waiting makes l'chayda makes, because this is going to make a yid do things to make him actually come upon Mamash. So in other words, waiting for Mashiach. Why is it a chiv to wait? Because this is going to make Mashiach come faster upon Mamash. Because this is going to bring two actions to more tefillos, which will make a yid daven for Mashiach and bring Mashiach faster upon Mamash. And